Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama
Hare Krishna, Dhanatna Matajis. So, welcome to our Srimad Bhagavatam reading. So, today we have only two members who are attending the session. And the quiz, so Pinky Mataji have given the quiz for yesterday. And let me share the results. So, we have two questions wrong and 60% accuracy. So, let us begin with our session for today. We are reading from chapter 14, Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, and we have to start from 38th verse today. So let us begin. Om Jnanatimidandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatharine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare. So here Yudhishthir Maharaj is discussing with Arjun about the bad omens, and also Arjun has come back from Dwarka after 7 months, and we are continuing with that only. So Yadbahu Danda Bhiyudayanu Jivino Yadu Pravirahi Apito Bhayamuhu Adhikramanti Angrahibhir Ahatram Balat Sabham Sudharman Surasat Tamochitam. Translation and Patpat by His Divine Grace, Abhicharna Arvind Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. The great heroes of the Yadu dynasty, being protected by the arms of Lord Shri Krishna, always remain fearless in every respect, and therefore their feet trample over the Sudharma assembly house, which the best demigods deserved, but which was taken away from them. But those who are direct servitors of the Lord are protected by the Lord from all fearfulness, and they also enjoy the best of things, even if they are forcibly accumulated. The Lord is equal in behavior to all living beings, but he is partial to his pure devotees, being very affectionate towards them. The city of Dwarka was flourishing, being enriched with the best of the things in the material world. The state assembly house is constructed according to the dignity of the particular state. In the heavenly planets, the state assembly house called Sudharma was deserving of the dignity of the best of the demigods. Such an assembly house is never meant for any state on the globe, because the human beings on the earth is unable to construct it, however far a particular state may be materially advanced. But during the time of Lord Krishna's presence on the earth, the member of the Yadu family forcibly brought the celestial assembly house to earth and placed it at Dwarka. They were able to use such force because they were certain of the indulgence and protection of Supreme Lord Krishna. In other words, the Lord is provided with the best thing in the universe by his pure devotees. Lord Krishna was provided with all kinds of comforts, facilities.
Prabhuji, you are on mute.
ओ हरे कृष्णा. सो आपको कुछ नहीं सुना अभी तक?
प्रभु जी अभी 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 म्यूट हुए थे.
कब तक, कहाँ तक?
इन अदर वर्ड्स.
Okay. In other words, the Lord is provided with the best things in the universe by his pure devotees. Lord Krishna was provided with all kinds of comfort and facilities available within the universe by the members of the Yadu dynasty. And in return, such servitors of the Lord were protected and fearless. So this we can also see that कि जैसे just like Lord is given all the facilities, although he who are we to give him any kind of facility? All the facilities belong to him only. But similarly, those who are the servitors of the Lord, they are also given all the best facilities which are best ever possible in the world that we can give them. Like when Prabhupada was here, so there was one of the reporting in interview by a reporter, where the reporter objected that to Prabhupada that you have come to this country and you are using all this opulence and all this Rolls Royce. It was in Australia, and the reporter said to Prabhupada that your followers are taking you in Rolls Royce and they are giving you Rolls Royce experience. Rolls Royce is a very renowned company, and the cars are extremely expensive, and there are only few hundreds of them in the whole world. So you can very well imagine what is the value, and somebody had arranged that Rolls Royce for Prabhupada. So then Prabhupada cut the reporter there and then only, and said that you are being envious to me, and these are my disciples, and I am doing whatever I'm doing is I'm representative of the Lord, and they want me to they want to give me all the facilities best ever possible that I want, that they can give. It is not that I am expecting any service from them, or I am expecting any बहुत बड़ा मैं कुछ उनसे फेवर एक्सपेक्ट कर रहा हूँ. बट इफ दे आर गिविंग दैट आई डोंट रिजेक्ट. Otherwise we are also fine traveling in bus also, or we are also fine traveling on the foot also. Like जब यहाँ पे प्रभुपाद आते थे in New Delhi to Vrindavan, he would travel by public bus also with his disciples. So Prabhupada was okay with that also. He was also okay with Rolls Royce also. But it is the disciples' duty, disciples' responsibility, that to give whatever best possible comfort, or whatever best possible uh, arrangements that we can do for the spiritual master, or those who are senior devotees, or those who are representatives of the Lord. In that perspective, we can take. A forgetful conditioned soul is fearful, but a liberated soul is never fearful, just as a small child completely dependent on the mercy of his father is never fearful of anyone. Fearfulness is a sort of illusion for the living being when he is in slumber or forgetting his eternal relation with the Lord. Since the living being is never to die by his constitution, as it is in Bhagavad Gita 2.20, then what is the cause of fearfulness? A person may be fearful of a tiger in a dream, but another man who is awake by his side sees no tiger there. The tiger is a myth for both of them, namely the person dreaming and the person awake. Because actually there is no tiger, but the man forgetful of his awakened life is fearful. Whereas the man who has not forgotten his position is not at all fearful. Thus, the members of the Yadu dynasty were fully awake in this service of the Lord, and therefore there was no tiger for them to be afraid of at any time. Even if there was a real tiger, the Lord was there to protect them. So, Prabhupada gives us such a wonderful analogy. The person who is dreaming, and even in the dream there is a danger, there is actually no danger. So the danger in a dream is an illusion. Similarly, when we understand what is our factual position, that we are not this body, we are spirit souls, we have nothing to fear at actually. और ये भगवत गीता 2.40 में भी आता है ना कि the person who is self-realized, they have no fear. नेहा भिक्रमनाशस्ति प्रत्यवायन विद्यते स्व अल्पमपि यस्य धर्मस्य त्रायते महतो भयात. तो भय से त्रायते मतलब they rise above the platform of fear because they have nothing to fear about it. And the Krishna conscious person is nothing to fear. And I would also hear Giraj Prabhu saying many of the times that this is actually one of the symptoms of a person who is Krishna conscious, that one becomes fearless. There are situations where a normal person would get fearful, oh, what will I do? But a Krishna conscious person, if the person is truly Krishna conscious, this is one of the symptoms that the person will get fearless, because the Lord is fearless, hence the devotees of the Lord are also become fearless. Or example is given, like for example, a small child, है ना, is completely dependent on the mercy of the father, is never fearful of anyone. हम एक दो तीन दिन पहले क्लास थी, उसमें भी ये डिस्कस कर रहे थे that if a small child wants to cross the road, है ना, and if he is accompanied by the father, he is in an enjoyment, he's in a very enjoyable mood, he can cross the road. He is nothing to fear, because whatever danger there may be, it is taken care by the Lord himself. So he is nothing to fear at all. So similarly here also, this is Yudhishthira Maharaj बता रहे हैं, है ना, there is nothing to fear. So the great heroes always remain fearless in every respect, because they are protected by the arms of Lord Krishna. So like that. Let us read further. Yes, Nidhi Mataji, would you like to read the shloka, or should I read?
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I can read it.
Okay.
Kachite namayam tata bhrashita teja vibhashime alabdha mano vajanata kimva tata chiroshita. Translation: My brother Arjun, please tell me whether your health is all right. You appear to have lost your body luster. Is this due to others disrespecting and neglecting you because of your long stay at Dwarka? Purport: From all angles of vision, the Maharaj inquired from Arjuna about the welfare of Dwarka, but he concluded at last that as long as Lord Shri Krishna himself was there, nothing inauspicious could happen. But at the same time, Arjun appeared to be bereft of his bodily luster, and thus the king inquired of his personal welfare and asked so many vital questions.
Mhm. Yes, continue, Mataji.
Kachin nabhito bhavai shabdai amangle nadutam akam aritabhya asyayat pratarshrutam. Translation: Has someone addressed you with unfriendly words or threatened you? Could you not give charity to one who asked, or could you not keep your promise to someone? Purport: A Kshatriya or a rich man is sometimes visited by persons who are in need of money. When they are asked for donation, it is the duty of the possessor of wealth to give in charity in consideration of the person, place, and time. If a Kshatriya or rich man fails to comply with this obligation, he must be very sorry for this discrepancy. Similarly, one should not fail to keep his promise to give in charity. These discrepancies are sometimes causes of despondency, and thus failing a person becomes subjected to criticism, which might also be the cause of Arjun's plight.
Mhm. Yes. Anybody else wants to read? Yes, Nidhi Mataji, continue.
Kachitvam Brahmanam balam Gamvradam roginam kshatriyam Sharano parshutram shatvam Natakshi sharna pradha. Translation: You are always the protector of the deserving living beings, such as Brahmins, children, cows, women, and diseased. Could you not give them protection when they approached you for shelter? The purport: the Brahmanas, who are always engaged in researching knowledge for the society's welfare work, both materially and spiritually, deserve the protection of the king in all respects. Similarly, the children of the state, the cow, the diseased person, the woman, and the old man, specifically require the protection of the state or a Kshatriya king. If such living beings do not get protection by the Kshatriya or the royal order or by the state, it is certainly shameful for the Kshatriya or the state. If such things had actually happened to Arjun, Maharaj Yudhishthir was anxious to know about these discrepancies.
Hmm. So ये हमने we also read it in I think earlier chapters where Yudhishthir Maharaj only was saying about that these are the five who should be given um, very much protection actually. Brahmins, the children's, cows, women's, and the diseased or the elderly people also, which is one of the way. And it is actually the responsibility of a king or the one who is ruling the state that to give protection to everybody. And it is said in scriptures that those who take birth in the kingdom, they are called praja, whether they are human or whether they are animals or whether they are other living entities. So everybody should be given protection. And a praja means those who take birth in the kingdom. And it is the duty of a rightful ruler, na, where they give the protection to these classes specifically. And we also see that the demise of the whole Indian culture is primarily rooted due to that the Brahmins they got what can we say? So they were not acting as true Brahmins, and because there was no true Brahman class, there was no true Brahman class to guide the Kshatriyas, and eventually the whole system became Varna Sankar, where there is a mix and there is no true class of Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and everybody is a Shudra. And hence we see that there is a demise of the whole Vedic culture, and of course the others, those who ruled over the Bharatvarsh, and that they had different agendas, and and because the Kali Yuga was so much prevailing, and everybody, there is so much forgetfulness of the Lord, and there are other things which are impacting the consciousness. Everybody becomes so degraded. It's like that. Yes, Shivani.
Hare Krishna. Kachitvam nagama agamyam gamyam vasatkritam shritam striyam parajito vatha bhavan notamera nasamepati. Translation. Have you contacted a woman of impeachable character, or have you not properly treated a deserving woman, or have you been defeated on the way by someone who is inferior or equal to you? Purport. It appears from this verse that during the time of Pandavas, free contact between man and woman was allowed in certain conditions only. The higher caste men, namely the Brahman and Kshatriya, could accept a woman of Vaishya or Shudra community. But a man from lower classes could not contact a woman of higher caste. Even a Kshatriya could not contact a woman of Brahman caste. The wife of Brahman is considered one of the 7 mothers, namely one's own mother, the wife of spiritual master or teacher, the wife of Brahman, the wife of king, the cow, the nurse, and the earth. Such contact between men and women was known as Uttam and Adham. Contact of Brahman with Kshatriya woman is Uttam, but the contact of Kshatriya with the Brahman woman is Adham, and therefore condemned. A woman approaching a man for contact should never be refused. but at the same time, the discretion as above mentioned may also be considered. Bhim was approached by Hidimba from a community lower than Shudra, and Yayati refused to marry the daughter of Shukracharya because Shukracharya is being a Brahman. Vyasdev, a Brahman, was called to beget Pandu and Dhritarashtra. Satyavati belonged to the family of fishermen, but Parashar, a great Brahman, begot in her Vyasdev. So there are so many examples of contact with women. But in all the cases, the contacts were not abominable, nor were the results of such contacts bad. Contact between man and woman is natural, but that also must be carried out under regulative principle, so that the social consecration may not be disturbed, or unwanted worthless population be increased for the unrest of the world. It is abominable for a Kshatriya to be defeated by one who is inferior in strength or equal in strength. If one is defeated at all, he should be defeated by some superior power. Arjun was defeated by Bhishma Dev, and Lord Krishna saved him from the danger. This was not an insult for Arjun because Bhishma Dev was far superior to Arjun in all the ways, namely age, respect, and strength. But Karan was equal to Arjun, and therefore Arjun was in crisis when fighting with Karan. It was felt by Arjun, and therefore Karan was killed even by crooked means. Such are the engagements of Kshatriya, and Maharaj Yudhishthir inquired from his brother whether anything undesirable happened on the way home from Dwarka.
So Prabhupada is explaining here the intricacies, like how there is regulation in our scriptures for contact between men and women, and how it is not so. That is, we see that around us, how it is carried out, that there is completely intermixing of men and women. And but we can also see it from different. I was just thinking that, see, Prabhupada wrote this Srimad Bhagavatam from 1960s, 1965, where in 1965 he went to US. So see what is he writing. But when it comes to practical application, how Prabhupada, because he's an acharya, when he went to USA and he saw that there is so much of intermixing of men and women, he only an acharya can do such a thing, that how he allowed that, okay, you because the men and women cannot be separated out in, and if they say that, okay, I will bring out these rules and regulations, then they will not be able to follow it at that earlier stage, right? So how he became successful, because based upon time, place, and circumstance, how he preached that message to that audience. But he is still giving us what is the right etiquette, and what is the right principle according to scriptures. So this is the principle, but the detail of the principle may vary depending on time, place, and circumstance. How he we can say that how he I won't say change, but how he adjusted the circumstances in such a way that those people also, those who are Yavanas and Malechas, those who are so much intermingled, they can also come to the highest platform of Vaishnavas. But the principle is this, which is mentioned over here, right? And detail can vary. Yes.
Api svitparya bhunktastam sambhojayan vridha balakan yugupisitam karma kanchit kritva vanayat akshamam. Have you not taken care of old men and boys who deserve to dine with you? Have you left them and taken your meals alone? Have you committed some pardonable mistake which is considered to be abominable. But it is the duties of householder to feed first of all the children, the old family members of the family, the brahmanas, and the invalids. Beside that, an ideal householder is required to call for an unknown hungry man to come and dine before he himself goes to take his meal. He is considered to call for such a hungry man thrice on the road. The neglect of this prescribed duty of householder, especially in the matter of old men and children, is unpardonable.
तो ये मैंने आई थिंक एक बार गेरा शुरू बता रहे थे इस चीज को. मैंने अपने लाइफ टाइम में तो ऐसा नहीं देखा ऐसा होता हुआ, बट आई थिंक आप में से कोई बता सकता है अगर जो आर मच एल्डर टू मी कि कि ऐसा होता था कि जैसे घर में खाना बना तो पहले तो जो गाय के लिए भी रोटी निकालते थे, और अगर कोई बाहर भूखा है तो बाहर कोई आवाज मारते थे, कोई भूखा है, 3 बार मारते थे, क्या कोई भूखा है, अगर कोई भूखा है तो पाले, उसके बाद हम पाएंगे. तो दिस वाज स्टिल द कल्चर. I don't know whether it is still there in villages or smaller towns or not, but at least मैंने अपनी लाइफ टाइम में तो ऐसा कल्चर नहीं देखा. So
Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Prabhuji, yes, still this is the culture in villages, because हम भी अभी पहली रोटी जो बनती है वो गाय के लिए बनती है, लेकिन बाहर जाके we do not call कि if somebody is hungry he can or she can eat. बट हाँ, अगर कोई गेट पर आ गया है तो फिर ये होता है कि हाँ उसके लिए खाना बनेगा पहले और उसके बाद फिर हम पाएंगे.
करेक्ट. तो जैसे सुमित प्रभु बता रहे हैं, तो जैसे पहले रहता था लुधियाना में, तो वहाँ पे कोई सोसाइटीज नहीं होती ऐसी गेटेड जहाँ पे आपको एंट्री के लिए भी पहले आपको अपना मोबाइल नंबर बताना पड़ता है, फोन नंबर बताना पड़ता है. कोई सरप्राइज एलिमेंट रह ही नहीं जाता. अतिथि है ही नहीं. अतिथि को भी बेचारे को पूछ के आना पड़ता है क्या मैं आ जाऊँ. So there is no such thing left now, like due to all this modern culture whatsoever, but what to do. But anyhow, this was the culture. Yeah. So it is last shloka, so we can read this.
कचित् प्रेष्ठतमेनाथ हृदयेनात्मबन्धुना शून्योऽस्मिन् रहितो नित्यं मनयसेते अन्यथा नरुक. Or is that you are feeling empty for all times because you might have lost your most intimate friend, Lord Krishna? Oh, my brother Arjun, I can think of no other reason for you becoming so dejected. Purport. All the inquisitiveness of Maharaj Yudhishthir about the world situation was already conjectured by Maharaj Yudhishthir on the basis of Lord Krishna's disappearance from the vision of the world. And this is now disclosed by him. Because of the acute dejection of Arjun, which could not have been possible otherwise. So, even though he was doubtful about it, he was obliged to inquire frankly from Arjun on the basis of Narad's indication. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purport of first canto, 14th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Disappearance of Lord Krishna.
So, like what Yudhishthir Maharaj was so fearful about, and he asked so many, the whole chapter was on questions only. कि क्या ये हो गया, क्या ऐसे हो गया, आप इतने दुखी क्यों हो, आपका चेहरा उतरा हुआ है, आपका बॉडी लस्टर चला गया, तो क्या मेरे भगवान ठीक हैं, और जो ऐसे उनके बीच में इतनी सारी बातें करी. But then eventually he asked that heavy question with a heavy heart, that is it so that because you have lost your most intimate friend Krishna, you know? So मेरे में तो इतनी फीलिंग्स नहीं है कि I also become dejected by reading this chapter or the next chapter about the disappearance. Maybe I'm so stone-hearted, but but a devotee, and we see we can very well imagine that what would be their situation of Arjun or Yudhishthir Maharaj, that even if for our near and dear ones when they pass, right, we feel so dejected or we feel so morose, and whom we love, right? And so what to speak about the, and there and for devotees also, when somebody, um, we know that a very famous personality or a personality whom we are attached with, they leave their body, or they end their pastimes on this earth, we feel very dejected or morose, and there is sadness also. So we can very well imagine that what would be the level of sadness or the dejection in the hearts of the Pandavas, especially Arjun and Yudhishthir Maharaj, who were so dear to Lord Krishna and who got so much association. Although it is like they're playing the best part of the drama, it is all Leela only happening, and but they are playing so well. They are all eternal associates of the Lord, and they are never separated. But still, there is this is being done here, so like that. And in next chapter, which is the Pandavas retire timely, we will see that how Arjun, he says in earlier shlokas that yes, that Supreme Personality of Godhead Hari, he is no longer with us, and he has wrapped up his pastimes and he has gone back. And then the Pandavas retire, and then there is a whole description, and so like that. And then we will see in chapter 16 how Parikshit Maharaj receives the age of Kali, because the Lord is retires, and then it is time for the Kali Yuga to begin. And then about the cow, the one-legged cow, and then somebody beating up that cow, we will read that pastime and punishment and reward of Kali. And then Maharaj Parikshit cursed by a Brahman boy, and then the parents of Sukhdev Goswami, and the recitation of Srimad Bhagavatam for 7 days. Wonderful. And the next second canto, it is so very interesting about, there are so many questions by Parikshit Maharaj to Sukhdev Goswami, and then the whole creation of the universe and how the universe comes into being. Everything is explained very much in detail. So, आप सब लोग बने रहिए. So we will keep on reading Srimad Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna. If there are any questions, then we can take. Otherwise, we'll end the session. Okay, no questions, I think. So let us end the
Hare
session.
Krishna Prabhuji, Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Namo Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale, Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namane. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desh. Jai Guru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.